event, Cities Unbound, held recently in London at the Crystal. The event had in attendance experts from around the world, including governments and agencies, discussing challenges in development as well as sharing on examples of good practice and new ideas on how to get a modern cosmopolitan city moving in the 21st century. Governor Akinwumi Ambode, the executive governor of Lagos State, was in attendance to share on his plans and efforts to transform Lagos into a smart city.
But the truth is, government cannot, in its real sense, want to renew some parts of the city. There will obviously be some other people that would have illegitimately situated themselves in such spaces. And when it's time to renew or renovate or improve in those areas, you technically have to find a way to take them out. But in the last 1 year, the government has actually paid almost $10 million as compensation. Compensation not necessarily for those that are legitimately staying there, because there is no another. So if anybody stays on government land, we need to move. But the truth is that there's a sense of compassion in what we do. So we first establish that they are not staying there legally. The land belongs to government. We need to relocate you, but at the same time also compensate you. So that's been, there must be a convergence between trying to renew the city and also trying to create some sense of compassion with people. We always have this kind of challenge, wanting to converge between the challenges of the poor and the challenges of trying to renew the city. But making the city smart is actually being able to create services that people can use without recourse to government, and also create open spaces, public spaces that actually increase the standard of living of people. And that becomes an everyday challenge for us generally. But we're creating Cleaner Lagos initiative, believing also that we need to keep the city clean, we need to keep the city safe, and safety has been a major issue in the last 2 years, which we have actually succeeded on. So somehow, applying technology and every other thing is a daily thing, and we believe obviously that Lagos can become smarter as we move on.
If you'd like to join me in thanking our panelists.
I caught up with the governor after his presentation, and he shared with me some of his challenges as well as efforts in Lagos to date.
Structurally, the way Lagos is technically driven more by the private sector than the public sector, which is the truth. 67% of the commercial business in Nigeria is in Lagos, and there's no way the government can actually run the city without actually involving the private sector. So I'm for the private sector to actually have a major buy-in in the system. So I believe strongly that all the things that we've been doing in the last 2 years is to make sure that the private sector actually takes the front row for both of us to be able to partner together and be able to drive the GDP of Lagos forward. We've done so much for entrepreneurs, and we've been trying as much as possible to make the city, investment friendly, and also make sure that the city is safe, and then to allow other people to be able to come do business in Lagos. And we think by, stressing on security, stressing on infrastructure, more investment will come in, and then the private sector will have that comfort to be able to put more money into the system. I like to be truthful. The issue is this: we just have just one mode of transportation, which is the road. And then with a population of 23 million people, and then having the highest number of people entering into the city every day, that's just not going to work. So we need to reactivate all the other modes of transportation. And that's why we're very strong on light rail. That's why we are so strong on making sure that even the road transport that we're having is not even efficient, it's not running properly. I need to tell myself the truth. So I'm finding a way to make sure that, I combine all the modes of transportation: rail, water, air, even walking on the road, all combined together to make sure that there's an effective management of all the sectors together. And what people have seen in the last 2 years is that we've been creating infrastructure for road laybys, bus stops, and like I said, we're going to get rid of the yellow buses, and we're going to start all the way from this year. The bus shelters, depots that we're having, and also
we're putting more money into water transportation. We believe strongly that, by combining rail, water, air, and then road itself, and allowing people to even walk freely, and then introducing bicycle also, the city will be ready enough to, to absorb the growth in the population that you have in the city. Is the way to go.
Governor Ambode appeared open to new ideas and ready to implement workable solutions to align the mega metropolis that is Lagos City with similar metropolises around the world.